of IBEC, the 24th. It's the first one that I am chairing in my new responsibility, and I look forward to working with you, each one of you, to progress the agenda of devolution and protect our constitution and the ideals on which our constitution is founded. I look forward to a collegial, consultative, and cooperative engagement, not just for this meeting, but for our other engagements, because Article 6 of our Constitution and all the enabling laws of devolution do not anticipate adversarial engagements. The Constitution says that all our deliberations and engagements must be done in the spirit of consultations, mutual respect, and cooperation. And I think that should really inform us as we go forward. I also want to congratulate the new leadership of the Council of Governors, Chairperson, the Honorable Abdullahi, Governor of Wajir, Pongezi, Governor, Chair, and I wish you well. Vice Chair Mutai Kahiga, Governor of Jerry County, congratulations. And all the chairpersons of, there is a whip, but this is a renewal of mandate. You've been a whip for how many terms now? 2. There are no term limits. So, Pongezi, Governor Sang, my friend, a whip, and all the chairpersons of the various committees of the Council of Governors. I look forward to work with you, each one of you, again to further the interests of our country and our counties. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution of Kenya has very high expectations on devolution. Very high expectations that devolution will bring more responsible and accountable governance at the local level, at the grassroots, that decision making and identification of priorities will be more consequential to the people because it's being done at the local level, and more cohesive communities will be formed at that level because governance is being propelled from the local level. The Constitution also creates very high expectations on the issue of allocation of resources equitably to ensure our country develops equitably. And much has been achieved since 2013, since actually 2010, but particularly under the auspices of IBEC, much has been achieved since 2013. And I'm also happy to note that some progress have been made towards implementation of the resolutions of the immediate ordinary session of IBEC. The country is operating under a challenging macroeconomic situation, and that has affected the economic performance for the country, for some time now. As you're aware, the closure of our economy for nearly 2 years, between 2020 and 2021, because of COVID-19, and other global events, including high interest rates in the global market, the war in Ukraine, and a few other things, really affected the economy of Kenya in a significant manner. Meaning, the post-COVID-19 period, starting 2021, 2022, saw a number of things happening that have hurt our economy and our ability, therefore, to generate resources to service the 2 levels of government. high interest rates, a weak shilling, and an unstable foreign exchange regime, high inflation, high prices of essential commodities, including foodstuffs and fuel. And this really affected many countries in the world, Kenya included. Over the last 2 years, the Kenya Kwanza administration has done all it could, and I am happy to report a lot of progress has been made in the last 2 years, such that today the prices of essential commodities, that is foodstuffs, basic foodstuffs and fuel, have stabilized, especially in the past 1 year. Inflation has come down from a high of 9.7% in 2022 to now 2.7%, which is the lowest in 17 years. The exchange rate of the dollar is now stable from a high of 165, 168 per dollar to a stable 127, 129 range for the past 1 year almost. Interest rates have come down. They are decreasing from a high of 15.65% 1 year ago. They had even reached 16% at some point. Today, the central bank rate is at an all-time low of 11.25%. And there is indication that the interest rates will continue dropping. So we have a macroeconomic situation that promises a brighter future, and I can confirm without fear of contradiction that the worst is behind us. The country can only now move forwards. We can only move upwards. And thank you for your patience, because in the process, some of the commitments around devolution, like disbursements of monies to counties and other obligations, have been affected by this macroeconomic turbulence. The pain has also been felt at household levels, and the devolved units being the centers of service delivery and the centers of contact with citizens. You can bear me witness that the pain has been quite significant, but I stand here today with the good news that the worst is behind us and the future is going to be more comfortable, because after arresting the escalation of the macroeconomic indicators, right now the commitment of this administration is to work on household incomes, empowerment of citizens, strengthening devolution and service delivery at grassroots level, making sure that we create more jobs and therefore open the economy for a better and more inclusive prosperity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the last 1 year had some political implications which affected our fiscal situation, and that is in the sense that some financial instruments or fiscal instruments really that we anticipated would be passed were not passed because of violent and riotous behavior that caused death and violence in the middle of this year, leading to the withdrawal of the Finance Act 2024, and that has had its effect again on our fiscal resources for this year. We've had to adjust both the Division of Revenue, amend the Division of Revenue Act, the County Allocation of Revenue Act, and the consequential legislations, I'm sure, will also have to all be aligned, including budgets and appropriations frameworks, to make sure that this reality, that is the collapse of the 2024 Finance Act, Finance Bill, is accommodated. I want to appreciate the mediation teams and all the role players who enabled a resolution of how to accommodate the shortfall. Initially, the shortfall was proposed to be 20 billion, but I think that was added, an additional 7 billion was added to bring the total to 387 billion, which again now is what we are working under. Thank you very much once more for the patience during this process. We encourage more understanding, collaboration, and consensus building as opposed to confrontational approaches to sensitive issues like devolution. I want to commend the spirit so far. We have had an issue of timely disbursements of county resources. I am informed by the CS for the National Treasury. Some progress has been made. I'm told November is still outstanding, and I am also told that next week, November, will be sorted out so that we try and regularize the delays. I am also aware there are other issues involving access to the development funds. Other than the delay in disbursements, there is also further delay down the chain because of the accountability procedures involving the Office of the Controller of Budget and the spending by counties. That discussion, we must face it head on and resolve it. We cannot have a situation where counties and county governments receive money, they're unable to spend it. But on the other hand, we must insist that accountability is for all of us. And therefore, we must have a way of bridging the gap between the viewpoints by the Council of Governors and the Controller of Budget to make sure that we assist both institutions, the COB and the COG, to deliver on their mandate. No institution has a right to frustrate the other. Both are pursuing legitimate interests, national interest, but at the same time, we must not use our mandates either to frustrate or to delay the delivery of services to the people of Kenya. Having said that, I think it's my very big pleasure to be here this morning. I hope we'll have very good deliberations. I hope we will crystallize some of the issues that needs to be escalated to the summit, the Intergovernmental Relations Summit, which will be held on Monday. And so my plea, as I finish my remarks, is we keep the presentations brief and focused and succinct. And please, let's just, we can achieve a lot in the next 1.5 hours so that we can also release each other for other engagements which are equally competing. And all of us are busy people, whatever we are doing. I wish you well. I look forward to working with you. And I am in familiar territory because 10 years of my public life I spent in the Devolution family. So I'm happy to be back home. The security people had stolen me for a while, for 2 years. It was also a very good experience, but I'm happy to be back to the Devolution family in one of the many roles that now I am undertaking. Thank you very much, and I wish you well. And what is the next item? I resume my position, and then maybe you will tell us what the next item is, and then we run through the agenda. Thank you very much.